One more video for the week 3 problems. These come out of section 1.6 on page 242. We're going to do problems 22, 26, and 32, which all make us shift the same graph around. Then we're going to do 75, 76, 76, and 94. So starting off here with 22, 26, and 32, they all make us transform this graph, which you can see in your textbook here, in different ways. They call this blue function y equals f of x. All right, in number 22, we are asked to graph y equals f of x plus 1 minus 2. And in fact, in the textbook, they call this new function g of x. I'm just going to say y equals f of x plus 1 minus 2. And my first job is to identify the different transformations I'm supposed to do. And I'm going to write them down. And I recommend that you write them down too, every time you do one of these problems. Because by writing them down in the correct order, it's going to help you actually shift the graph. And even if you make a mistake after you shift it, I can see that you knew what the transformations were and what order they were in and give you partial credit. It's a good way of guaranteeing that you earn some points. So if we think about your author's advice, he advises that we do horizontal shifting first, stretching or shrinking second, reflecting, and then vertical shifting next. HSRV. I like to think from the inside out, which agrees with that pattern. So on the inside, I see that I've replaced x with x plus 1. So I know that is a shift left 1 unit. All right. And then the minus 2 on the outside, that's a shift down 2 units. So we're just going to do that. I'm going to do that all in one step. I'm going to move every point that's highlighted here, right? I can think about these ones. I'm moving every point on the graph, but I'm going to think about these ones first, and then I'm going to connect the dots. I'm going to move left 1 and then down 2. So left 1, down 1, 2. This point moves down there. Left 1, down 1, 2. And I can just keep doing this. Left 1, down 2. Left 1, down 2. Hey, that point becomes an x-intercept. That's cool. Left 1, down 2. Connect the dots because every point did that. And there's my graph. Like I moved everything over 1 and then down 2. That's my solution to number 22. Next up, question 26 out of the same set of problems. We start with the same function. This time, we're asked to sketch the graph of y equals minus f of x plus 1. All right, the minus out front, that's a reflection. There's no horizontal shifting, there's no stretching or shrinking, so I only need to start, I need to start there. I need to start with the reflections because that's next in my list. So that's a reflection over the x-axis. The plus 1, that's a shift up 1. All right, I'm going to do this in 2 steps. So I'm just going to think about doing the reflection. Well, these points on the x-axis, they're not going to move. They're in the middle. But this point that's down at minus 2 is going to reflect up. And I'm going to get this shape on this side. This point's going to reflect over. That whole triangle is going to reflect over. So there is the reflected graph. That's just doing this. Now I need to move all those points up 1. And there's my nice, happy solution. Reflect everything over and then scoot it up 1 whole unit. Problem number 32 starts with the same graph, but instead asks us to do this. Y equals 2 times f of x plus 2 minus 1. All right, shift left 2. Right, because I see an x plus 2. If it was an x minus 2, I'd shift to the right. Got a times 2 out front. It's a vertical stretch. by a factor of 2. And then that minus 1 tells me to shift everything down 1 unit. So what I think I'm going to do this time, I'm going to do these two together. Excuse me for a moment, grab a better green marker than that. I'm going to do these two together. And then I'm going to move everything down 1 unit after that. So I'm supposed to move left 2 and into a vertical stretch. The vertical stretch is not going to affect the points on the x-axis because that's where y equals 0, and 2 times 0 is still 0. So I'm going to move this point to the left 2, and it doesn't move anywhere when I do the stretch. This point I can move to the left 2, and it works the same way. This point to the left 2. This point I move to the left 2, but when I stretch it by a factor of 2, it's at minus 2 times 2 would be minus 4. So 1, 2, 3, minus 4. This point I move to the left 2, 1, 2, and again, 2 times 2 is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect the dots. And since this is a middle step, I'm just going to dash it in. And to make sure everyone who's reading it knows that I'm not quite done yet, I'm going to write in, that's just the 2 times f of x plus 2 part. That I haven't done the minus 1 yet. And that's this part, right? So now I'm going to move all of these points down 1 unit. My posted solutions to this, my posted handwritten solutions to this are a bit neater because I actually went through the trouble of using a straight edge. But there's my solution to number 32.